Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Real Talk with Minister J.Rene. So glad you can join me today. This is going to be a great topic. So this is a good time, or make sure that you share this video with any of your friends that you know, especially if they've experienced abortion, because that's what we're talking about. But guess what, everybody? Here's the Real Talk twist. I'm talking to men just like I am women, because quite honestly, what people do not know is that men experience distress from abortion just like women. And I know that that's not a popular saying, because most of the time we're looking at TV, looking at all the political stuff going on, and the abortion rights bill and all that stuff, and we just generally put men in a negative category, and that is not the situation with all men who experience abortion. Yes, men experience abortion. What, you're saying they can't because they don't get pregnant? Okay, here we go. So I have bullets, and I'm going to start with the women, right? And then I'm going to the men, and I'm going to surprise you today, because you think that men do not experience this. So hold on to your seat. But I hope and I pray that this would help the couple on this journey of post-abortion. So, hey, come on, guys, let's get into this. So there are like more than 1 million abortions every year, per year. And that is a large number. But people always talk about, hey, just get rid of it, no problem, abortion's quick, let's just make it legal. But what do they ever say? Hey, you're going to experience trauma to your body and psychological trauma, maybe for years to come. Does anybody tell you that? Does anybody tell you that you're going to be affected psychologically from abortion? You know, and here's the thing. The great thing is that now somebody is ready to tell you what will come next, instead of what can we do to get here, right? And just so you know, I know women, and we've discussed this, that they have body issues. So a couple of people have said that they've had pressure, like a discomfort in their body, and every month, like during their cycle. So usually things happen during the cycle, but sometimes, and some women, it doesn't. It's just different pains, different ailments, different issues, depending on the person. It depends on a lot of things. But guess what? You will experience physical issues because of abortion. And so I'm gonna go over some of those today. And let's see here. Let me look and see what we got. We did and let me also say, because I'm looking at my bullet points. So in bullet point number 2, it says every person reacts to and recovers from stress in different ways, and some by need for help and guidance along the path to healing. So there are some people that they just need help to get to healing because they don't know that it's there. And I want to say today that if you are experiencing that and you feel like you are alone, today is the episode that I'm so glad that you caught. And I pray that you do share it with some of your friends who maybe did not say these things to you, didn't want, but maybe they're going through the same things or something, and you can share this to help them as well. So let me look at my third bullet, okay? So it says post-abortion stress syndrome, which I know that a lot of people have not heard of, and it's called PASS, right? So it is the residual pain of abortion felt through feelings of grief, anger, shame, guilt, or other mental or physical turmoil. See, it's all right there. It's all right there. And so I did this for you today, and so I'm so glad that you are with me. So let's look at the next slide where it says, let's go more into past or post-abortion stress syndrome, which says symptoms described in past are similar to the symptoms of PTSD. Wow. So it says many women and men experience heightened feelings of depression or anxiety at anniversary months of either the abortion procedure or the proposed birth date of the child who was aborted. Right? Yes, men go through this thing too. Can I tell you something? So, yes, you are pregnant. The baby is in your body, women. But guess what? It is a procreation. And I know the world says, oh, the baby is not considered a baby until a certain age. No, that's... Okay, so in the church and with God, there's scripture that says otherwise, right? And so because of that, the reality is both people, man and the woman, have procreated and made this unique little person. And so what happens is when you get abortion, you also abort the fatherhood of the father. And so sometimes, if you notice, that men get the symptoms of the pregnancy, that they are also affected by the pregnancy. So when the pregnancy is aborted, there are things that happen inside the man just like the woman. Wow, I'm really going into this. But so let me tell you this. I don't have it. Okay, yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna come back to the slide. So I'm gonna go to Jeremiah 1:5. Just so you know, just take your notes down and check this out. Kind of meditate on it so you can help people, right? So it says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you." So look, God is saying, I formed you in the womb, but I was intentional about your creation. So I knew you before I even started putting you in the womb. Yes, that embryo is a person. The magic of God just to knit together a person in the womb is so amazing, right? But I know that there are some women who did not realize that when they got pregnant. And I know that there's some women who've gone against their beliefs because the reason to abort was bigger than the reason to keep the baby, maybe. There are all different kind of situations. So many different issues or reasons people come to this kind of decision. So I am not throwing shade, as somebody would say, or trying to discourage you or make you feel bad. I want you to have a full understanding of this, and there's a reason, and I'm gonna get there. So if we look at Ecclesiastes 11:5, just as you do not know how the breath comes to the bones in the mother's womb, so you do not know the work of God who makes everything. So as Christians, we have to understand we can't let the world dictate to us what is a human and what is not. God creates everything. So what is in you or was in you was unique, and that affects the father, because once the child is formed or the baby is forming in the womb, you have been propelled from woman and man to parents. All right. So let me go back to the slide, right, at past. And I want to say this, and I want to make this clear to everyone. It says many medical and mental health professionals fail to recognize the painful aftermath of abortion as an actual condition, making it difficult to feel heard or understood. So because they don't even recognize it, hey, get this abortion and nothing's wrong, they fail to recognize what you're really going through, so you don't really get the help that is needed after you realize, oh my goodness, what have I done, right? Or, oh my goodness, nobody told me about this part, right? Okay, so that's okay. We're here today. We're going to tell you, all right. So there's a, let me see. Woo. Man, it's already a lot, and I haven't even gotten to the men part. But let me see. Abortion results in multiple losses. So there's the loss of the child, the loss of the relationship, self-worth, hope for the future, and abortion debases, watch this, fatherhood as it violates man's instinct to protect and care for those he loves. You know, just men transform when they become fathers. Just remember that. And so, yes, they have this great big deal that they deal with as well. And then there's the decision making, okay? But let me tell you some more really quick before I go to break. Let me tell you some more. We're going to look at this slide and tell you some of the symptoms of abortion trauma. So with abortion trauma, there's an intense grief, reduced motivation, uncontrollable crying, depression, drug and alcohol abuse, suicidal thoughts, eating disorders, and we already said self-esteem, but it's low self-esteem, sleep, appetite, and sexual disturbances, difficulty with relationships, and oh my goodness, the big one, guilt. Guilt in and of itself can plague you to cause you to lose your position, your focus in life when you've had all of that. Oh my goodness. So yes, there's a whole lot of this you thought was just you. It is not just you. These are after effects of abortion. So please stay with me. So as we go into this break, I still got some more stuff for you. We're gonna do it as fast as we can to get through this whole show. Oh my goodness. So stay with me, and we're gonna go back through that just for you, because I don't want you to miss anything. I even have references so you can go look up some more stuff, do some more reading. We'll get to that later, but I do want to get to the men right after this break. So we'll see you in just a few. Enjoy this break. Be right back.
It's a celebration. The deal maker, Kevin Willis, is celebrating 10 years, a decade of servicing our community with deals on wheels at Toyota of Louisville, 6514 Dixie Highway. He's the #1 high-volume car dealer. Call him today so he can create you a deal of a lifetime at 502-408-0888. 10 years. Kevin Willis at Toyota of Louisville. 10 years of finding you deals, of getting you done. That's Kevin Willis, the deal maker with Toyota of Louisville, 6514 Dixie Highway. Be sure to check out the deal maker on social media. Friend him on Facebook. Follow him on Twitter. It's the deal maker, Kevin Willis at Toyota of Louisville.
Welcome back, everybody. Glad you enjoyed that break. Hope you got you a pen and piece of paper so you can take notes, because I have a lot of stuff to give you. I'm going to go through it really quick. So like I said, I was going to go back to the men, all right? And so each abortion involves both a man and a woman, and often leaves them feeling wounded and confused. Men and women may feel regret immediately after abortion, or they may not realize the negative impact of abortion on their lives until months or years later, right? So these men and women need our understanding and compassion, which is why I'm doing this today. And guess what? I'm glad church is coming back in session where, listen, if you felt like that and you've been alone, you've been miserable, hey, I invite you to come on in. And if you can't, join us online at ssclive.tv, and you can see our church services. Our pastor has an awesome message that I know will lift your heart. And you can go to info@ssc.org, SSC Live. Oops, let's not leave out the live, because we are alive.org, and get information about our church. We'll be glad to help you, pray with you. And if you want to get a new start in life, look, go ahead and email us at newstart@ssclive.org. Okay? All right, so let me go and get into this. So I'm trying to get to this decision making. So let me just tell you. So I'm gonna keep it real, and I'm gonna go through the different things that happens with the partners when, hey, they find out that their partner is pregnant. So some abandon their partners, or they are threatened to that they will leave them, therefore indirectly encouraging abortion. There are men who are not aware of a partner's abortion until after the fact, or until after the abortion occurs. Other men offer support of some kind, which may or may not include a commitment to a long-term relationship. Some men oppose abortion and make their views clear, but ultimately they are at the mercy of their partner's decisions. Many men concede to the promoted view that abortion decisions belong solely to women, and so defer those decisions to their female partners, right? So they feel like, hey, that's really her decision, doesn't have anything to do with me, but flags, it still hurts. Okay. Abortion decisions are painful and difficult, and decisions which bring lasting consequences. Oops, they forgot to tell us that. Okay. Too often, the men and women themselves do not adequately communicate their fears and desires. As a result, an abortion decision is made with neither partner, which neither partner is satisfied with. So sometimes, so let's look at it like this. Women have their expression. Men do too. Men do not express things like women. Doesn't mean that they necessarily want the abortion. Listen, their life is changing just like hers. And so they are trying to take in a whole lot of information, and they're dealing with doubt and courage. They're dealing with a lot of things too. So we cannot assume that because a man does not communicate that he is against the baby being born, right? Because both people will regret that they did this thing. And I just want you to know that, try your best to communicate the best you can. So a woman's hormones are like all over the place. And we forget that. And guess what, ladies? Even in that time, you make decisions that you don't realize that you're making because of the weight of what is going on and what you're hearing. Your hormones are all over the place. And so what you really thought you wanted to do is what you regret doing when it's all over, right? So I want to say that. I want you to understand, I am so compassionate about your loss, about what you're going through. And so I want to encourage you, talk to someone. And I have a helpline for you that I forgot to mention, but we'll put that up for you. It's the Hope Healing Helpline number. We got that up. We'll put that up for you. And so let me go on while that happens. So men tend to withhold their thoughts and desires concerning pregnancy outcome and instead yield the decision entirely to their partners as they perceive such behavior as supporting them. So men will just not even mention it because they want to feel like they're supporting you. When you might feel like if you just say something, I'll know what really to do. I don't want to be in this thing by myself, but if you're with me and I know that, then I'm good. So, you got to, say something. Just remember that the reasons that they might be not saying something doesn't have anything to do with rejection of the pregnancy. Okay. So, many women report, had they received an assurance of support from their partner, they would have chosen to carry the pregnancies to term. Gentlemen, please do your best to say, you know what, I'm scared, but I want to go through this thing with you. I want to go through, I want to be here and to be a good dad. And some men might be afraid because they didn't have a father or their father wasn't a good father, and you don't want to be a failure. Guess what? Just because your father was like that does not mean that you will be like that. That does not mean that. So give it a try than to waste a unique life that all the gifts that you don't get to see are laying inside of this human life. Yes, I feel like no life should be wasted, especially in this time and this hour. Okay, because somebody's baby is going to change our world for the better. Okay, sadly, the decision to abort is often not what either party wants, but is the result of a failure of communication between men and women trying to cope with the crisis of unplanned pregnancy. So, consequences, while not all men seem to suffer greatly after abortion, some surely do. So whether you're married, single, in casual or committed relationships, some men have a very difficult time after abortion. We have to realize this. There are men suffering just like women. So beating men up because someone decided to have an abortion is cruel, and maybe we shouldn't jump to conclusions. And this is why I'm bringing all the rest of this out, that there are men who would rather waste a life than to give a child a chance to live. Yeah, there are men who do that. And there are men who will probably hurt the mother of the unborn child. So I do understand that as well. Okay, I just want to throw that out. So men repress their own emotions. We've gone over that. So did you know relationships are stressed by abortion? Between 25 to 70% of relations fail after abortion. So like you might have an abortion so you can stay with this person, but when that happens, your relationship is stressed anyway, and it still may fail. Oh my goodness. So just want you to know that. After abortion, many men may experience grief, anxiety, guilt, helplessness, and anger. These painful emotions may be expressed in substance abuse or other risk-taking behaviors. Negative emotions may progress to clinical depression, angry outbursts, or severe anxiety that impairs concentration, and also delayed grief reactions, and be at risk for unresolved or complicated grief. So there's also spiritual pain. And I mentioned this early. If you're a Christian, and Christians do get abortions, guys, please let us all wake up. Christian women do also get abortions. But what? It is even harder when you do not believe in abortions or the death or, killing. Someone told me years ago that I killed somebody. Murder? What? So listen, know that it's hard, and that can lead to suicidal thoughts or attempts, just such grief that we go under, in addition to what your body goes. So you got it mentally and physically, right? So I just want to say all this. Listen, I got to let you see if you want to read further about this, you know what, just check us out. We're going to put up the slides for the references for books, websites that you can get a hold of to help do further reading about this. But I want to say this, the path back to healing, because I'm almost out of time, is forgiveness. So Catherine T. Cole said it this way: forgiveness in all its forms brings emotional and spiritual healing. Men who suffer from grief and guilt after abortion will find healing as they receive forgiveness from God. Give the gift of forgiveness to others, and finally forgive themselves. With healing comes the restoration of hope. Where there is hope, anything is possible. Tell you today in this segment, I still have more items for you, but guess what? The most important of that is forgiveness, and it begins there. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. Forgiveness is not having to get an apology, right? Forgiveness, hey, and even though there's stages of forgiveness, right? Just start with forgiveness. To release it, listen, it lets the heart, It releases the heart from the prison that it's in. You know, forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. So being able to, number one, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. And forgive the other person, right? Listen, both people are under a strain. So look, I am praying that God would help you to receive his abundant grace and mercy, right, in this season, in this hour, because God loves you. God has not changed his heart about you. He loves you. So please receive his grace and his mercy, and know that just like the prodigal son, he's waiting for you to come back to him. He's not going to ask you about and for you to explain. He's going to embrace you. Just listen, come to God. July 18th, our churches will be open. The doors will be open. I am at St. Stephen's Church. We have a campus in Louisville. We have a campus in Indiana. And if you are anywhere near Hardin County, listen, we invite you to join us on July 18th. Let us love on you. So guess what? I will see you next time right here on Real Talk. I am Minister J.Rene, and I always want to bring something good to your living room. God bless you. We'll see you next time.